Alright guys, how's it going? So let's take a little trip back in time. Let's look at the middleweight division back in 2013. Daniel Geale. Now Daniel Geale was the number 2 ranked middleweight behind Sergio Martinez. He went over to Germany, defeated the IBF champion Sebastian Sylvester and won his title. He defended his title. He then went back over to Germany in a unification with Felix Sturm, defeated Felix Sturm to become a unified world champion. Now at that point, Daniel Geale was considered the second best middleweight on the planet. He had only had one defeat on his record, which was a highly controversial decision against Anthony Mundine over in Australia years prior to that, which he avenged, by the way. He avenged that defeat in really impressive fashion. And that was when Daniel Geale was the IBO champion. He got robbed of his belt. Then in 2013, he fought mandatory challenger from the UK, Darren Barker. And all I can say about that fight is, guys, ignore the decision. Just watch that fight, okay? Watch the fight. Ignore the decision, because I'm telling you right now, Daniel Geale got robbed of his belt once again, okay? And those were his only 2 defeats prior to fighting Gennady Golovkin. Now, in 2014, this is less than a year after he was the number 2 ranked middleweight, he fought Gennady Golovkin and he got knocked out. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, guys, and there's other fighters too which I'll talk about in this video, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm seeing all these videos with the titles, Gennady Golovkin, Bum Killer. I'm seeing people in comments, and people mentioning in the videos too, that Gennady Golovkin has built a career fighting bums. He hasn't fought anybody. He doesn't want to unify, he doesn't want any challenges whatsoever. He's only fighting bums, he's only fighting stiffs, he's only fighting cab drivers. Well, in 2014, he fought a guy who, less than a year prior to that, was the number 2 ranked middleweight. Was Daniel Geale a bum? Was the number 2 ranked middleweight in the world, and a unified world champion, a 3-time world champion, was he a bum? A guy who had never been stopped before, whose only 2 defeats were highly controversial decisions, and who had been a unified world champion, and who had done it by travelling and fighting on the road and fighting in other guys' backyards. That guy was a bum, was he? Okay, let's move on. David Lemieux. David Lemieux had just won the biggest fight of his career. He had won the IBF title against Hassan Endam. David Lemieux was one of the most feared punchers in the division. Wasn't the best fighter. He obviously was pretty limited technically. He didn't have great defense. He was pretty short for the weight. His footwork was a little bit dodgy, but what he did have was he had that presence in the ring. He had that power. He was a very good pressure fighter. So yeah, Gennady Golovkin fought him when he was world champion. Not a lot of middleweights would have defeated David Lemieux that night. I'm sure a lot of the contenders would have lost to him. He was easily a top 5 middleweight, but that's a bum, right? Because Gennady Golovkin only fights bums, doesn't he? So again, a top 5 middleweight, a world champion, a reigning and defending world champion, a guy with knockout power in both hands, who had just defeated Hassan Endam, who is highly regarded. He was a bum, was he? Another bum to add to the list, the bum of the month list. Okay. Martin Murray, who went over to Germany, beat Felix Sturm, who was the reigning WBA champion, got robbed, got given a draw. He really should have won that fight. Went over to Argentina to fight the number 1 ranked middleweight, Sergio Martinez, beat him, put him on the canvas, got robbed. So that's 2 robberies. He was very highly regarded at domestic level. Let's not forget he took away Nick Blackwell's undefeated record. He stopped Nick Blackwell in 5 rounds. He was over 6 foot. He was very, very good defensively. He had never hit the canvas in his career before. He goes in the ring with Gennady Golovkin. He was actually considered to be one of Gennady Golovkin's biggest tests, and Gennady Golovkin destroyed him. But that's a bum, right? He then moved up again to super middleweight after that fight and fought the reigning, defending super middleweight champion Arthur Abraham, and fought to a very close split decision in Abraham's backyard. But that's a bum, right? That's another bum of the month list, yeah. Okay. I would like to know who these bums are that you keep bringing up. Who are these bums, these bum of the month people that Golovkin is fighting? Because it's all I'm hearing across the YTBC. All I'm hearing is how he only fights bums. Which guys are you actually referring to? Who was a bum? Were any of those guys I just mentioned? Were any of them bums? Okay? Were any of them bums? Please tell me, because I don't think they were. I wouldn't call a former 3-time world champion and number 2 ranked fighter in the division. I wouldn't call that guy a bum. I wouldn't call a reigning and defending world champion a bum. I wouldn't call a guy that should be undefeated, that got robbed against the top guys in the division. I wouldn't call that guy a bum. Okay? Not by a long shot. Alright? I wouldn't call that guy a bum at all. Golovkin's last fight, Dominic Wade. Now, I know Dominic Wade was overmatched. I'm not trying to say otherwise. But if he was a bum, he wouldn't have been undefeated in 18 fights, would he? And he wouldn't have been the mandatory challenger if he was a bum. Alright, if he was a bum, he wouldn't have got anywhere in his career. Okay, bums don't get anywhere in their careers. Okay, bums don't get title shots. Bums don't get 18-0 records. Alright, his last fight prior to fighting Golovkin was against Sam Solomon. Now, I know you'll want to say Sam Solomon was a bum too, because everybody tied up with Golovkin is somehow a bum. But wasn't Sam Solomon a world champion just a year prior to that? Sam Solomon, again, went over and beat Felix Sturm, who, let me just reiterate this fact, Felix Sturm, before you tell me he's a bum too, he is the current WBA super middleweight champion, and a 5-time world champion. Is a 5-time world champion a bum? Well, Sam Solomon beat Felix Sturm twice. Dominic Wade beat Sam Solomon. So if Dominic Wade was a bum, what that means is Felix Sturm is a bum too. And everybody Felix Sturm has beaten must also be a bum. So that must mean that Fedor Chudinov is a bum, that Darren Barker's a bum, that Javier Castillo was a bum. That must mean that all of those guys are bums, right? Let's look at who else Gennady Golovkin has fought. Didn't Gennady Golovkin fight Matthew Macklin? Was he a bum? Matthew Macklin, you know, who was, again, a very highly regarded domestic level fighter, gave Felix Sturm and Sergio Martinez very difficult fights. Very difficult fights. Go and watch those fights. He had Martinez on the canvas, and he took him to the 11th round before he got stopped. And it was a very close back and forth fight prior to that. Was that a bum? Gennady Golovkin smashed him in 3 rounds. And after the fight, Matthew Macklin said in his interview that Gennady Golovkin was the best fighter he had ever shared the ring with, amateur or professional. And this is a guy that shared the ring with Sergio Martinez. Okay. Alright, who else? Grzegorz Proksa. A guy who should have been undefeated because his only defeat was a robbery against Kerry Hope, which he avenged by knockout just months later. He got absolutely robbed in that fight. I remember watching it live, and then he just knocked him the fuck out in the rematch. But yeah, Grzegorz Proksa, undefeated European champion, very highly regarded. Stopped Sebastian Sylvester in 3 rounds, okay? Sebastian Sylvester, former world champion. And Proksa stopped him in 3 rounds, destroyed him. Was on a great run before he fought Golovkin. Fought Golovkin, got destroyed, got taken apart. He's never been the same since. That fight ruined him. Was that a bum? Was the European champion a bum? Tell me, was he? Seriously, what is wrong with you guys? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? It's just, this hate for GGG has gotten so bad that everybody whose name is tied up with him is a bum. Everybody. I mean, as I said, Grzegorz Proksa was the European champion. He was, in reality, undefeated. Alright? He was very highly regarded, one of the top-level contenders in the division. He was unorthodox. He was a southpaw. A very slick southpaw. A lot of people didn't want to fight him. He knocked out a former world champion in 3 rounds. And you guys are telling me that he's a bum. Give me a fucking break. Moving on. Gabriel Rosado. Now, I'll agree there, Gabriel Rosado is not that good a fighter, you know, in terms of his talent, he's not that impressive. But one thing he can lay claim to is he's very tough, he's got a granite chin, got a lot of heart, always tries his best. You know, he's a handful for anybody, okay? Nobody goes into a fight with him without expecting to get dragged into a fight. He's a very tough, durable contender. Difficult night for anybody, and was on a good run before he fought Golovkin. And it wasn't until Golovkin destroyed him that he started losing fights consistently, because then he went on and fought, I believe he fought Peter Quillin after that, I believe he fought Endam as well, correct me if I'm wrong, and I believe he beat Joshua Clottey too. I haven't looked at his record, I'm just thinking off the top of my head here, guys, but yeah, Gabe Rosado, not that great a fighter, but a very tough, durable contender nonetheless, and a commendable victory. Not a bum, okay? This word bum does not belong to fighters like that, okay? You know, who else did he fight? There was Ishida. Now, Ishida, again, yeah, not a great fighter, but a durable guy, you know, a tall guy, decent jab. He knocked out James Kirkland in the first round. Everybody seems to have forgotten about that. You know, James Kirkland was regarded as one of the best light middleweights at one point. Ishida knocked him the fuck out in one round. Everybody forgot about it. Okay, that's a fight people just ignored. People want to pretend that fight doesn't even exist because they don't want to credit Golovkin. And Golovkin knocked Noribushi Ishida out. Okay, knocked him the fuck out. And interestingly enough, Ishida had never been knocked out before. That stoppage defeat to Golovkin was the only stoppage on his record. Every other defeat was on points. Okay? Golovkin could do anything, and you guys will never criticize him. As I said in one of my other videos, he could move up and fight Tyson Fury and beat him, and you guys wouldn't give him any credit, okay? You wouldn't. Okay? I want to know, who are the bums? You're saying that Golovkin only fights bums, that everybody he's fought is a bum, that he's a bum hunter. How do you define the word bum? That's what I want to ask you guys. What do you mean by the word bum? You know, are you telling me that, you know, if, what's his name? If Canelo Alvarez would have fought David Lemieux, if Canelo Alvarez would have fought David Lemieux because they're both Golden Boy fighters, would you guys have criticised Canelo Alvarez so highly? Would you guys have called David Lemieux a bum then? Was David Lemieux a bum when Hassan Endam fought him? That must mean Hassan Endam's a bum too, right? Because he got beat up by Lemieux. He got put down a bunch of times and he lost. That must mean he's a bum, right? Doesn't it? You know, guys, come on. How do you define the word bum? Please back up your content with facts. That's what I've done. I've just given you a list of names of fighters Golovkin has beaten and broken down their careers and showed you that these guys are commendable fighters. They're not bad fighters. Some of them are world class. Some of them are average contenders. None of them are bums. None of them. Not even one of them is a bum. Explain to me your criteria on who's a bum and who's not. I always thought that a bum was a journeyman. You know, a rubbish boxer. A guy that can't get anywhere. You know, somebody like Ashley Theophane, Adrian Broner's last opponent, a fucking journeyman, a guy who lost to Daniel Thorpe, one of the biggest bums in boxing, a guy with 400 or something losses. You know, he also lost to a guy that was 0-1, a guy with 0-1, a guy that's never lost a fight. That's a bum. Ashley Theophane is a bum. Right? If we're talking bums, there's your man right there. Adrian Broner's last title defence. But nobody that Gennady Golovkin has fought recently is a bum. Okay? If I was to look at Golovkin's record, I don't have his record on me right now, but I'll go and have a look at it after the video. If I see anybody on his record in his title reign that I think is a bum, I'll bring it up immediately. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody. Certainly not in recent years, he hasn't fought any bums. I mean, he suppose he did fight Curtis Stevens, who I don't rate very highly, but, you know, Curtis Stevens, I mean, I wouldn't call him a contender, but I also wouldn't call him a bum. I mean, he did beat Toriano Johnson, so I wouldn't call Curtis Stevens a bum exactly. I think he's an average, you know, an average domestic level gatekeeper. I don't think he's a bum, but still, you know, it's not like he's a journeyman, is it? It's not like he couldn't beat some of the top middleweights. You know, he's got power, he's got explosiveness. You know, he's got some kind of threat. But if you fight him, you have to be on your game. So I'm not going to say that that guy was a bum. I don't think he was. Just try to think off the top of my head. Who has Golovkin actually fought that was an actual bum? I can't think of anybody. I'll get back to you. But please, somebody explain to me this criteria on who's a bum and who's not. Don't just say Golovkin only fights bums. Explain your point, okay? Who has he actually fought that's a bum? Tell me. I'm out.